Why, good afternoon there, Miss Dixon. Let me take a moment and tell you about the novel I chose for my LA project. It's called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, and it's written by Mark Twain. Now, it's an adventure fiction book, and what makes this so? It's because it's about me and my pal Tom, and we goes on all sorts of these adventures. And it was recommended to me because it's a classic, and I do love myself a good adventure. If I'd have to rate this book, I'd rate it a 5-star out of 5. Now, anyone, young and old, girls and boys, who loves himself adventure, humor, wittiness, and all those, is going to love this book. Now, me and my friend Tom had so many adventures, I only have time to name a few. One of them is being a pirate. Me, Tom, and Joe Harper, we all went to Jackson Island because we was sick and tired of all the way the people were treating us. And we had all sorts of fun. We were smoking and playing games and fishing. It was great. Then we started to miss old home. And after a storm hit, we decided to go back to St. Petersburg, Missouri. Now, the whole town thought we'd drowned, so the best thing to do was to crash our own funerals. And boy, you should have seen all the people's faces. Now, another adventure me and Tom had was that we went to the graveyard about midnight, and I had myself a dead cat because I wanted to get rid of me warts, and of course there's a ritual for that. Now, when we was there, we heard some voices. Turned out they belonged to Injun Joe, Muff Potter, and old Dr. Robinson. Now, they started arguing and a fight broke out. So, it ended up with the death of Mr. Robinson. You see, Injun Joe took Muff Potter's knife after Muff Potter had gotten knocked out, and he himself had killed old Dr. Robinson. Now, well, when Muff Potter came to, Injun Joe blamed the murder on him, and Muff Potter believed it. And then Tom and I made a pact never to speak of the event again, because we was scared that Injun Joe himself was going to come after us. So, eventually, Tom confessed to confessed to what he saw in court, and he ended up saving Muff Potter from the rope. And then Injun Joe was rightfully convicted of the murder of Dr. Robinson. Now, let me tell you about this other time that Tom and I shocked the entire village of St. Petersburg that we was rich. Now, you see, before Injun Joe died in the cave that Tom saw him in, we heard him say straight from his mouth that he had hidden some treasure, not in his den, number 1, because he had 2 dens, but in den number 2. So after the funeral, Tom and I went back into the cave to look for a rock with a cross in it, because that's where Injun Joe had said it would be. And so Tom ended up digging and he found a secret passage. And when we went down into that secret room, we found guns, moccasins, and treasure, of course, among other things. Now, so we took back some of this treasure to the village, and old Widow Douglas was having a party. So that's where Tom let it out that we had become rich and we had found gold. So now I'm living with Widow Douglas after she had taken me in, and I'm still having tons of adventures with my pal Tom. Now, let me tell you about the theme of this novel. It can easily be summed up by a quote from my dear old friend and philosopher, Mark Twain. He says, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. So what Mark Twain is trying to tell us is that children and adults alike should keep adventuring all through their life, not being tied down by the responsibilities of adulthood, but by making memories and such so that they may never have any regrets. If you'd like to be entertained further, below the slide that you're watching this video on, below this is another video that explains more about the novel through a time capsule.